show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? We have the best in the building with us, Mr. Carlos Wallace, author, award-winning filmmaker, motivational speaker, executive producer, and Mikell Limbrick, the director of Pens. And we're going to talk to them today about poetic energy needed in society. Hey guys, how we doing?
How's it going?
Man, I'm telling you, I'm so glad. First of all, I got to tell everybody about Carlos Wallace, the third person hanging with me when I was in radio, and I'm telling you, he was the one. I had to call him. I said, hey, man, I need to interview somebody, and he was one who said, okay, Cam, I got you. Thank God for you, because I wouldn't be here.
Hey.
How did we get started in this, Mr. Carlos Wallace first?
You know, I have the passion for entertainment, you
Yeah.
know, and along with trying to help elevate others, you
Yeah.
know, and so, you know, we filmed some comedy
Yeah.
back in the day.
Mhm.
Started with one show, and Fetty will tell you more about
Yeah.
that later, but
Soul Caritas.
yeah. And but in doing the shows, man, I said, you know, we eventually got to go to film. Like
Yeah.
that's just, you graduate. You know, I
Mhm.
still have passion for the live shows and the
Right.
stage. Don't get me wrong, but film is where to live forever.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we graduated, man, and
Yeah.
like I said, we're still at home.
We're still at home.
But yeah, we'll never forget the base. But yeah, it's just trying to elevate and
Right.
create content that'll last forever.
You got the vest beside you, Mr. Mikell
yeah,
Limbrick,
yeah.
Fetty, the director, putting everything together. Let's talk about how you got started.
Well, I'm like about 10 years in.
Yeah.
First started off with noticing that a lot of the upcoming music artists in the city of Houston
Right.
didn't have a lot of content. You know, Twitter just really started popping.
Right.
And everybody was trying to get their name heard. And of course, you have your Slim Thug and your Lil Kiki. They're already established and they're on your TV sets and all that. I'm like, you know what? I want to create a platform so these younger upcoming artists, you know, can get their face shown to attach it with the music that you hear.
Right.
So I started doing interviews around the city. And as they were having shows, I would show up. I always have a camera in my hand.
Right.
So I'm filming the shows for them and you know, posting it so everyone could see it. And then went from there to one of the artists hired me to do a music video for him.
Mm-hmm.
So now the name is starting to buzz around the city.
Right.
Okay, well, he's a good kind of guy to go to.
Right.
So I went from there to started attending a lot of comedy shows.
Right.
And a comedian by the name of Ken Boyd, who's originally from Houston. Now he moved to New York, doing bigger things now. I filmed his first DVD taping, and that's where I met Carlos at the Houston Improv. And Carlos seen the work, and he decided to hire me on to film his other comics. And like, so now the buzz started growing, and we started, you know, creating a great relationship. And he started doing poetry shows there. So I started filming the poetry shows, and one thing led to another, the snowball effect. So now we're here.
Absolutely. Mr. Carlos Wallace, why this guy?
Hey, I tell people all the time, like, industry, you know, people think you have to move to New York,
Right.
you have to move to LA.
Always.
And I'm not to knock any of those places,
Right.
but we have the best of the best talent right here.
Right.
You know, and there are some amazing filmmakers in LA as well as New York, and even Atlanta. You
Yeah.
know, but we have some amazing ones in Houston as well.
Right.
So you don't have to leave here, you know, to get the best filmmaker in the business, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is this guy right here?
Absolutely.
So, and now I live in New York.
Still a student.
I live in New York, but I come here to
Exactly.
get the film. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know where the best is. You
Absolutely,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm glad you said that too. We hadn't said that before, but I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
That Houston has such a vast
sure.
array of talent.
Absolutely.
Wow. Let's talk about that too.
Yeah.
About the talent here.
Actually, the interview with Seven the Poet
Yeah.
in the documentary, he talks about that
Yeah.
in regards to poetry with other cities in
Right.
comparison to Houston.
Uh-huh.
And his exact words are, nowhere nowhere has what Houston has. Like,
Absolutely.
And he's right. Like if they do have it, it's a secret because I hadn't seen it.
You haven't seen it.
This is where the best I've seen. I mean that.
Yeah.
From the bottom of
Fetty,
my
what
heart.
do you, as a director, okay, and you've gone all over, okay,
Right.
of course, coming back here, of course, just living here, what do you see that's needed here? What do you see?
Of course, more unity
Right.
as far as the the arts are concerned.
Right.
We have some great filmmakers here.
Yeah.
We have great artists,
Yeah.
and we just need to form a powerhouse.
There you go.
I mean, an immediate powerhouse, and everyone come together, and we can create the greatest content here.
Right.
Because I believe I'm going to see it to where we are the fourth largest melting pot for film entertainment.
Ooh.
So of
I like
course
that.
you have New York,
Yes.
L.A.,
Atlanta.
Atlanta now is killing it,
Yeah.
and I think that Houston is next.
I do.
And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that. Carlos said something before, and risk is necessary component of success.
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's talk about that risk.
Absolutely.
The risk.
You will never know what's around the corner unless you go.
Right.
Is it taking a risk? Sure.
Yeah.
But it's also a part of progress.
Uh-huh.
And if you're afraid to take the step, you'll never make the step. Like it's a part of what you have to do to keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
With collaborating, here's the risk. Allowing the perfectionists and the professionals that do what they do,
Right.
let them do what they do.
There you go.
He and I can work together because I do what I do,
Right.
he do what he does, and we put it all together.
That's the key.
And that's the key.
Just what you said.
That's the key.
He has his own gift.
Correct.
He
Yep.
has a gift.
Like I can
And you
just
have a
say to
gift.
him, man, this is what I'm looking for.
Right.
And a day or two later, he'll send me a cut, and I'll say, that was it.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to tell him, no, this is how you do that.
Right.
Because that's not what I do.
Absolutely.
I just say, this is what I'm looking for. And more often than not, he give me something better than
Absolutely.
actually what I was looking
Absolutely.
I think people want to wear all the hats.
for. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, wear your hat. This hat fits
Correct.
you.
Right.
Wear
Correct.
it.
Right.
This hat fits you. You wear it. So someone that can't
Because you can do 100% of what you do.
right.
Absolutely.
Instead of 50-50.
Director, filmmaker, editor,
Oh, my God.
sound guy. Like, I need to stay in my lane.
Going to the,
Right.
going to the convenience store. I mean, all of it.
Right. So
Like in the festivals, in the festivals where you see his name on everything. You
Yes.
see his picture and
Yes.
whatnot. And he and I talked, we went to Cancun just to kind of relax and just think all this over, right?
Right.
And we were talking about it. And I said, man, because if someone called me about making a film,
Right.
all I can do is call you. That's all I can do. Now we can go over budget. I
Right.
can negotiate a contract, the whole nine.
That's the executive producer in you.
But when it comes to
That's your job.
that's it. I can do that. The nuts and bolts of it, all I can do is call him.
That's it.
Even with the budget, I have to say, Fetty, how much money do we need to
Right.
do this? And he'll give me a number,
Ooh,
and
I like that.
you know what I mean. That's all I can do because I can't say what lighting he needs.
Yeah.
Or, how many this that's his job. And
Absolutely.
understanding your role.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad we're talking about this because my next question was how to make a successful documentary or film. And you're telling us right now. These are some of the things.
everybody
These
just play their role,
Play
play
your
their
role.
position.
Yeah.
I can't produce a show.
Right.
If someone asks me to produce a show, I'm calling Carlos.
Right.
And when he wants the film aspect in it, he calls me.
Right.
So all the gears just need to work and all the nuts and bolts work together.
Yep.
And we have a great machine.
There you go.
And even with that, when he's gonna film, he'll say, "Hey, I know we normally have the mic here, but can we put it over like 3 feet to the right because it'll look better because of it?" Oh, no problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And because the important aspect of it all is the perfection of the outcome.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Where are we trying to go?
There you go.
And the main thing is first sit down, have a plan,
Yeah.
and then go from there.
I like what you said about the name. Everybody wants our name
Yeah.
at the top of something or on there. We want to see it somewhere.
Right.
But if we're going there together,
It'll be fine.
shouldn't
It'll be
matter.
fine.
it shouldn't matter. There you go. It
shouldn't
shouldn't
matter.
matter.
People get caught up in labels, They
Ooh.
get caught up in labels, titles
Titles.
and whatnot.
Titles and labels.
And at the end of the day, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Yeah.
care what your type. What are you doing?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It's so many people that 40 million people are unemployed. Okay, many of them have a dream, either a book or author, whatever. But many of them have said, "I have something inside of me. I've wanted to write a movie. I've wanted to write a film. I've wanted to do some things." Right in their mind, what do you think? How do they get started other than writing?
First of all, if they're
That's the
unemployed,
first thing.
if they're unemployed, now is the right time.
Yep.
That's the best
Yeah.
time you could
Yes.
have time.
You got time.
To be alone with your thoughts.
That's it.
You know,
Time.
Right.
And write. And then when it comes time to formulate and put it in a structured way,
Right.
seek the professionals, you know. But now just get it all out, write
Right.
it all out. And the writers will show you
Right.
what you need to keep, throw away, structure, and go from there.
The other thing too, people have written things, right? They've already written a whole, either a play or they've written an actual film of their own.
Right.
And they always say, "I want my friend to look at it," right? You know, the first thing, you better look at this.
Well, ask yourself what type. Is it a friend that'll tell you the truth? That's the thing you need. That's
like
number
that.
one. Because you know you have friends like myself that'll tell you the truth.
Right.
That's why my friend list is short. But yeah, you have to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and there is no content that's bad.
Yeah.
It just may need to reshape, tooled, or whatnot. But there's nothing that's just horrible.
Right.
You know, just tell it the right way.
And to piggyback off of what he said, that's difficult because if your friend knows nothing about the film industry,
Correct.
how
There
are they
you
going
go.
to tell you if this is right or wrong?
Correct.
Right.
So they can only give you their opinion about it.
Right.
So I guess go into it with having a passion for it.
Right.
Number one.
And knowing that's what you really want to do. And you can study how the greats did it.
Right.
But there's a reason why I don't follow too many directors' projects because I don't want to mimic them.
Right.
I want
Okay.
to make sure I have my own style. And, you know, create I-Rise films, like my
Right.
own style of doing things.
Right.
But I will follow their instructions, like how they do it, because there's really, like you said, there's no wrong story.
Right.
So just do what you feel and make sure it makes sense to the naked eye, because
Right.
I look at movies totally different since I'm
I
in
know,
film.
right.
Like I'll bother my partner, like, look at their lighting, look
Exactly.
at that's that was a misprint right there. His hat was over here, so
So you see it differently.
I see it totally
He
different.
got me doing that now. I see
Exactly.
a movie and I was like, oh man,
See?
I would have never saw that before.
Exactly.
I just got to keep my mouth closed and watch it.
Exactly. Exactly. The other thing too, we don't invest in ourselves.
Man, you can't say that enough. It's
You know
so
what I'm
true.
saying?
It's so
We've
true.
got to spend money to get to where we are. If it's your dream, you got to invest in it, right?
There's no cost that's too high.
There you.
We want a microwave career.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
If I start writing today, I want it to be on Blockbuster tomorrow. It takes like years.
I want Denzel to be the
Right.
actor.
It takes years. Like Samuel Jackson didn't get his first really role to like 10, 15 years.
Right.
business,
after
In the
he started.
business.
So yeah, it takes time, studying, practice.
Yeah.
You fall 3 times, get up 4.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so and we're in the digital age now, so people think you can just push a button and
Right.
voila, you
Right.
have a nice piece of pie. But
Uh-huh.
no, I'm still in the era of you got to grind it out. You
Right.
know, it's not going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
Just put my all into it, and the product would be.
And you have to pay
fantastic.
professionals.
Oh, sure.
You have to pay professionals
Yeah.
for it to look professional.
If you want it, right?
If you want it to look right, you got to pay whatever they charge.
Correct.
Right?
When you get serious about this, your conversations change.
It
you know?
does. It
I may
does.
talk to somebody about the football game and talk to someone about Kobe's jerseys. When I talk to Fetty, it's what equipment he about to buy next. You know?
Absolutely,
It's-
absolutely.
He loading it up, man. And so your conversation changed. And then I'll say, well, what does that camera do, or this light kit, and he'll break that down. But it's exciting because that's another reason it's easy for us to work. His passion with what he does is the same as mine for what I do. You know, when you meet that person, man, it's unreal.
I Google movies and their budget that it costs to make
Right.
Batman, $100 million,
Uh-huh.
and someone will come to me and want me to do a project for them. I'm like, you know, it costs $100 million normally.
Yeah.
So if you way too far away from that,
Yeah, you won for $2,500.
you'll know what you get, what you pay for.
Okay.
And then of course the equipment. Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Well, let's look at your documentary and we'll go directly into the break. Let's look at pens right now and we'll go directly into the break.
Pens, poetic energy needed in society.
You know, poetic energy is just that, it's energy. It can't be contained, can't be boxed up, and it's unapologetic.
Everything we say is a thought. Thoughts are vibrations. They create energy.
Rhythm, flow, poetry. I tell every artist, you will never outwork me. If you work hard, I'm gonna work harder.
I say, Lord, whatever you would have me to write, just let it flow.
The words that the poets use and the emotion that the poets use is something that all the people connect with.
At the end of the day, what are you doing to build your brand?
But when you want to be on this platform, you gotta come to your A game. Because there's levels to this shit.
Whatever I speak is my truth.
One of the premier poetry DJs in your city.
We got something that's special here in Houston, period. And I stand on that.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages. The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.
I'm a part of the Prenatal Care Club now, taking all my STD tests.
Did you know your doctor's required by law to test you 3 times for syphilis and HIV?
Yes, my husband and I are making sure I get all 3 tests.
Good. Testing is the key to preventing congenital syphilis.
And good prenatal care is your first labor of love.
Glad to hear your husband is so involved.
Thank you. Yes, taking all my STD tests for syphilis is important to both of us. My prenatal promise is to prevent a stillbirth or miscarriage. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
This pandemic has impacted the lives of many people living with underlying health conditions, such as asthma and diabetes. That's why avoiding COVID-19 is a top priority, and a vaccine will help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Please keep masking up and practicing social distancing to protect those close to you. And be ready to take your best shot when a vaccine is available. Protect yourself to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Amazing things for you.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39-month lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey family, we are back. We were just talking to Carlos and Betty about the fact of pens. We just saw it. Let's talk about how that came about. Come on, Mr. Carlos.
So
how did we come about?
Like again, I tell you, we had already filmed a couple of comedy shows,
right?
And even single person productions for major TV. And I just had this idea that if we could do a poetry one the same way, you know, film it just like comedy, but it's poetry. And I was in New York, man, just one morning. I woke up early, like everything, and I called Fed. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" I was like, "Man, I think we should film one of these poetry shows, like a comedy production."
Right, documentary. Right?
And no,
what a documentary.
I just want to do the show.
Just a show, just a performance.
By the end of that conversation, he had made it a documentary. By the end of that conversation, we were up on maybe an hour or so. And by the end, he said, "Man, this is too big for a show.
Right.
It needs to be a whole, a whole package, a whole documentary."
Wow.
When the gears start turning, when that hamster in the wheel just start running, like he got to have the strongest legs because he don't stop.
Right.
Like, I'm like, you know what? I always think of has it been done before first.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know of too many Houston-based poetry documentaries.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? So I ran that by Carlos. He was like, well, yeah, let's make it happen. And I already started thinking about how I'm going to shoot it, where we're going to shoot it at, how I'm going to format it. And once the gears start turning, they don't stop. And here we are.
After looking at that, you went to each person's place where they write, where they do their best work. Why so?
I wanted to make sure they was extremely comfortable. You know, 'cause some of them may be a little camera shy or anything like that. I say, well, take me to your domain.
Right.
Where you get your most creative, energy from. So, and it worked out fine. I did a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
I know Houston like the back of my hand.
Right.
I mean, from Katy to Humboldt to Cypress. But
now he didn't tell me this. So as we going in, and I think one of the poets said, "Man, Fetty been all over the city."
Right.
And I said, "Man, let me send you money for gas." Like he didn't tell me any of this. I was like, "Come on, bro, we in this together."
Right.
We in this
had to
together.
make it happen, though.
Yeah.
And I want them to be super, extremely comfortable.
Right.
You know, if you need your beverage of choice or you burn sage,
Right.
make sure the energy is completely positive.
Right.
And let's get into it. And so they just gave me their most intimate thoughts on why they do what they do as an artist. And it was just outstanding. Like we were talking for sometimes 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Right.
And the camera just started rolling and I'm just getting all this great information on this subject and this why you do it and who you do it for, what makes you not want to stop through their trauma,
right?
Things that happen to them as a young person, and domestic abuse and violence, and oh man, things that really bring you to tears,
right?
You know, because they're just really pouring their insides out.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure the world knew that this is not just I get up on the stage, say my piece, and I'm done.
Right.
No, this is stuff that's really in their gut, and they're able to express it to all of you on the stage. And there's audience members who like, you know what, I was feeling the exact same way.
Right. Yep.
So I'm glad you were able to be transparent about it. Now I know I can express myself the same way as well.
Absolutely. Carlos, going back to you, poetry. Why so?
A poet approached me, it was I guess 5 or 6 years ago, and said, hey man, aren't you the guy to do all the shows at the Improv? And I said, yeah. He said, man, I love to do a poetry show. And I looked him right in the face and said, look, I do comedy. Man.
Right.
I wouldn't know the first, I love poetry, but I wouldn't know the first step of how to get people to come see it, you know. And he said, no, I'll take care of that. I said, well, if you can, I'll talk to him tomorrow and get you a date. The very first date we booked sold out in 6 days. And I was like, wow.
Poetry.
Okay. So
unheard of.
Yes.
Fetty he's booked to film it, but I'm in the back with him and we're watching.
Right.
Man, we were so blown away. Listen, if you go to the right poetry show, you're gonna cry, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna be mad, you're gonna be
If we collaborated,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody had the equipment and the sound or whatever it is, and the lights and everything, then somebody is the director, then somebody has this. If we pull those together, it seems like, in my mind, and I'm just getting into this media and entertainment, in my mind, it seems like if we collaborated more, united more as a people, as a people,
Yeah.
we would go up faster.
Sure. You know,
It would seem that way.
with it all, it may look like I'm in charge, but I'm not. We don't work. He don't work for me. He work with me.
Yeah,
we work
team.
together.
Exactly,
you know?
as a team.
And so,
I got you.
You know, I use my access,
Right.
and you know, whatever
What you have.
tools I have.
Yes.
He does the same, and we put them together.
Absolutely.
You know, that's
We each
very
have a
important.
gift, right?
You know, I can produce the greatest portrait show, but I can't film it.
They,
you know, you know what I mean? You know,
so
I'll
nobody
be-
will see it afterwards.
Yeah, it'll be born and die that
Right,
day.
that night, right, I
you
got
know
you.
what I mean? So, but with film, it'll be forever.
That's it.
And so when I want to film, I have to talk to the person that does that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And pay them.
Of course, everybody gets paid. Like, because
Can we say that again?
everybody gets paid, man. You know, I joke with
Your
the
worth.
artists. I talk about
Know your worth.
What your
know your
worth.
word. You know, I talk about it in the documentary.
What your worth.
I get tired of hearing poets say starving artists.
Yo, my God.
I said, no. Why are the artists the only ones starving?
Venue not starving.
The venue not starving.
Right.
The producer not starving.
That's it.
You know, the
Staff.
film crew, everybody else. So why don't you get to eat? You know what I mean? And don't think because you're an artist, you're the most important there either. Now,
Yeah,
don't
true.
do that. But
That's true.
understand if there is bread, we gonna break it.
That's it.
You know.
That's it. Even though we are friends, you
Sure.
still have a family. You
Oh,
still
sure,
have
yeah.
a family.
Oh, yeah.
We have a family. You
No.
understand?
My respect for Fetty wouldn't allow me to ask him to do anything free.
But that's what I'm
My
saying.
respect for him. You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. As a friend, you wouldn't do that.
There's times he said, "No, man, don't worry about it." No,
Absolutely.
no. If I don't do nothing but buy you Starbucks, brother, I'm
Right.
because that's just the respect,
Right.
You know, and
Of your worth and your value.
it's only I believe in being fair.
Yeah.
Period.
I think we are the only ones
We are.
that do that.
We
If
are.
We want something for free. We want the hookup.
The hookup,
Nah,
yes.
Come on, man. We've been knowing each other for long. That doesn't mean my lights won't get cut off.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Right.
Take
my
friendship
lights
over
on.
there to the power company.
yeah,
and see if
absolutely.
it won't
Deposit
work.
that.
I promise
Absolutely.
it won't work.
It won't work.
No, when you pull up at the pump,
It won't work.
Where it says slide your card,
Exactly.
slide friendship in there. Slide friendship in there, see if it'll pump.
Go
That's
see
what I'm
a
talking
attendant.
That's
Yeah,
what-
it'll say go see
exactly.
attendant. You going? Hey, I want to pay on friendship. And he gonna say, well, Mr. Hill, I'm sorry, we're not taking that
accept
today.
that.
Sounds good. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages. The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact thecamhillshow@gmail.com.
I'm a part of the Prenatal Care Club now, taking all my STD tests.
Did you know your doctor's required by law to test you 3 times for syphilis and HIV?
Yes, my husband and I are making sure I get all 3 tests.
Good. Testing is the key to preventing congenital syphilis.
And good prenatal care is your first labor of love.
Glad to hear your husband is so involved.
Thank you. Yes, taking all my STD tests for syphilis is important to both of us. My prenatal promise is to prevent a stillbirth or miscarriage. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
This pandemic has impacted the lives of many people living with underlying health conditions, such as asthma and diabetes. That's why avoiding COVID-19 is a top priority, and a vaccine will help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Please keep masking up and practicing social distancing to protect those close to you. And be ready to take your best shot when a vaccine is available. Protect yourself to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Amazing things for you.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39-month lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 0.9% APR for 72 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey family, we are back with Mr. Carlos and Fetty. Man, we were sitting here, we were talking about the fact about value, people's value. Pay for it.
Sure.
These are your friends. These are people that are helping you. Plus, this is their craft.
Yeah. And whoever came up with that friends can't work together. I don't know who made that up, but that's just not true.
Absolutely.
Maintain the mutual respect.
Absolutely.
You know? Do unto others as you want them to do unto you.
You can't walk in any of these restaurants.
Nope.
And when that bill come,
hey, you know we cool.
Come on, man. We buddy.
Exactly.
No.
That's not gonna get it.
Exactly.
So. I can't pay my cook with cool.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Just like that. As you're looking at that, we have aspiring, producers and directors. What first, Carlos, started with you, what advice would you give them, executive producer?
Study.
Mm-hmm.
From my end, like I said, I balance the money. I figure out what it's going to cost, what we have to do. But you have to study that, And a part of that is I had to sit down with the people. If it's 5 parts of it, I'd sit down with all 5 to see what they're going to need.
Right.
So when I put the total package together, this is what we have.
Absolutely.
But study, know what you're doing. That's number one, man. If you respect it, study it, learn it, top to bottom.
Absolutely. Director.
Piggybacking off what he says, just your studying of the craft is going to make a whole lot of sense when it's time for the outcome and the results. You have to be super creative, because there's a lot of projects that are out there that didn't have enough feet,
right?
So they didn't make it as far. So you really have to. You have competition. You can call it that,
right?
But just be just really be creative, and put out the best product of your ability. So let your work show that you actually dug into,
right?
What it takes to come up with a great project, and keep studying.
Absolutely. If somebody, as we're looking, and we were talking about Houston being a mecca, of entertainment, media, we can see that now, right? We can see it coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If we pull together, right? Can you have more? Can you have 2 or 3 executive producers?
Sure.
Can you have 2 or 3 directors pulling together and then get a feature film? That's blockbuster. Doesn't have to be there on the screen. It could be Amazon Prime, Netflix, Lifetime. Whatever it might be.
Yeah. I'll start with that one. I mean, that 2, you always hear 2 heads are better than 1. Manage if you have 4 or 5.
Right.
Then your skill set and your skill set with your skill set. That way all I's are dotted, all T's are crossed.
Right.
And then this person may see something that I don't. So you have the whole project that's being looked at, for 360 degrees.
Right.
That way there's no room for error. So yeah, I support that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. What you think?
And
Carlos?
when you see the credits on the film, you'll see various directors.
Absolutely, you do.
There may be one main director, but you see
and producers
several.
too. You see
and
2
producers,
or 3.
writers. Because there may be a scene that involves a live production, and so Fetty's like, hey, that ain't what Los. That's what you do. So you direct that part. You do all that part. And not just us two, but when you start bringing many people to the table, that's how you make a perfected major film.
Absolutely.
Or just get your favorite movie and just read the credits.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 70, 80
exactly.
people. Yeah. And y'all expect me to do the job of all 70 or 80.
Right.
I'm like, no, it takes a team, a super team.
It does. It does take a super team.
Yeah, you may not see all those people, but trust me, they are there.
Read them credits.
Yeah, absolutely. Read those credits, huh? Absolutely. I like that. In looking at this, you have an upcoming event, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about your upcoming event.
The people have been bugging us, when are we going to see it?
Yes.
But I think a lot of that, the poets saw it last October. We did our own in-house screening, and then we did a Zoom call. Everybody could talk about it and what they like, dislike. And so after that, Fetty retooled it.
Yeah.
So even in May, there's going to be things in it they haven't seen yet.
Right.
Just he and I, you know. So, but yeah, they have been bugging us for a long time. And I was trying to wait to COVID so we could really, you know, and just so happened, at one point we had to say, look, we got to go ahead and hammer down a date.
Right.
And when we done that, COVID, you know, Lord has blessed us. You
Right.
know, so it's time.
And what's our date?
May 19th. May 19th at Houston Improv.
At the Houston Improv.
Yeah, where it all started.
That's where it all started.
Yeah,
That's where it all started. This Houston Improv is something, huh?
we have a great relationship. You
Right.
know, I know the owner, but yeah, it's been a great relationship for 13 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think this project will spawn a lot of other venues.
Right. Sure.
You know, 'cause people will notice, oh, there's a demand for poetry in the state.
Right.
So let's try to pull them here and pull them over there to our spot and have something like a night strictly for poetry for them. So just the poetry community and the, like I say, it's unheard of.
Right.
You know, you could catch a rap artist here and there.
Right.
But just poetry. But now I'm starting to see projects open up with poets.
Right.
You go to a concert, a poet might be the opening act.
Right.
A comedy show, a poet might be the opening act. The inauguration.
That's what I was going to say. It was a poet.
So they're there. My job is just to push them out into the world so they all can see.
What do you think has stopped them? You know, poetry itself. What do you think has just been before you started? What do you think was the issue that we didn't gravitate?
Poetry has been a secret society. Like even now, you know, when we're around the poets and they start talking, man, you ever heard of such man? She the biggest in the country, and he and I'll have no clue.
Never heard.
Right.
But they know.
Right.
You know, it's a real secret society, and I think that has handicapped the art.
Yeah.
Because in order for it to grow, you have to have outside interest. You know, people from the outside funding it and help spread the word. You know, and that's a part of my job.
Right.
To make sure it has a continued growth.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't invent poetry.
Right.
I discovered it. I fell in love with it. You know, but it was already there. So
with this documentary, I really think this is start of a beautiful thing.
I think
it
so.
really is going to really push it up. It's going to go to the next level in it. So people, like you said, others that have not even looked at it as such a craft, you know?
Right.
I just hope that we keep it as our own.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing.
You know, because our culture has been robbed of a lot. So I'm just hoping we keep it. It's kind of like underground.
Right.
But people are gravitating to it. But I just hope it doesn't get into the wrong hands and they try to monetize it. And
Correct.
now your rights are signed over to someone else.
Right.
So,
and see, that's the biggest thing.
Right.
When money start coming, people start
Going
sacrificing
this way.
principle.
That's it.
And so we have to make sure that doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
now it's a lost art. Like, you know, if you will.
Because they'll put their spin on it. Well, now you have to talk about this.
Yeah, and
you can't say that.
Right.
No, these people are being transparent of what goes on inside of them.
Right.
They spilling out their guts and keep that art the same. Keep it the same.
What do you think that's needed for that? I think you mentioned some things.
Biggest is ownership.
Ownership.
We have to continue
That's
to own
the key.
it. You know, art as an author. When people say, "Oh, I got a book deal," and I always say, I cringe.
Right.
Because now you're being told what to write. You know, and so. And I don't like that. You know, I want to write what I want to write because it's coming from the heart.
Yeah, freedom.
Now, as an editor and someone that gives me advice and guidance, okay, that's cool. And Liz does a good job of that.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
You know, tone this down, add a little here, you know,
Right.
but she has never told me what to write.
Right.
You know.
I think we need to keep it authentic and we need to fund it.
Correct.
Ooh,
ourselves.
you said it.
Correct.
Not accept some money coming from, you know, some other corp so they can start telling you what to do.
Telling you what to do.
We put our own money towards it and push it out.
That's it.
That way you are the authentic owner of your craft. And no one else can steer you down a different road.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Keep it on it. Keep the money going from our pockets
generate
straight to the artist. And let it just generate. And keep
what people don't understand, with their money comes instructions.
That's it.
That's period.
Now we got to keep that in mind. You just said it.
Yeah, they're not giving it to you just because. It comes instructions. You know,
the dollar signs will make your eyes big. Okay, now wait a minute.
Yep.
There's some rules and regulations we got to give you now.
Absolutely.
So keep this art form authentic, and our culture has to fund it.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Let's tell the viewers last words from Carlos and last words from Fetty. Just look into the camera.
Go visit www.pensofpoetry.com and you'll get all the information about this documentary. See all the festivals, the laurels, all the information is there.
Rise Films, the director of Pens. It was a great opportunity to film this project. Hopefully we can see you all at the Houston Improv on May 19th for Pens, Poetic Energy Needed in Society.
Thank you guys for everything you all are doing. Man, you all are killing the game out here. Keep us posted of everything that you all are up to, what's next for you and things like that. I appreciate you for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks, family, for joining me. 12:31, 30 Central Standard Time. See you then. Bye.